Siddur Snippets is generously sponsored by the Saka family, by Yelad Avram Foreman. We're on the bracha of Shema Koleinu. And we last left off pointing out that word Shema, to listen, to hear, ostensibly, appears no less than 4 times in this one bracha, relatively short bracha, and 4 times. Shema Koleinu Hashem Elokeinu, Chuz v'rachem alenu kabar kikel shomea tfilos, u'mefanecha malkeinu rekam al shema ki eta shomea tfilos, amcha Yisrael b'rachamim, Baruch Hashem, Shomea Tfilah. Nusach Sfard has one more. What does Nusach Sfard say? Chaneinu v'aneinu Shema Tfilaseinu. So there's a 5th time that the word Shema is used in Nusach Sfard as well. Why such an emphasis on this word Shema, to hear? So first of all, the word Shema doesn't just mean to hear. The word Shema means to understand. It means that halachically, the principle of Shomea Ka'ona, if a person wants to fulfill their bracha by listening to somebody else, they need to understand what the bracha means. If they don't understand what the bracha means, one can't fulfill Shomea Tefillah, Shomea Ka'ona, because the word Shomea doesn't just mean to hear audibly. It doesn't mean to take in the sound waves to the eardrum. It means to understand, to comprehend, to be able to absorb what's being said. That's what Shema, that's what Shomea Din and Shomea Ka'ona, person has to understand in order to be able to be Yotzei. It's a big discussion. So much so that Friday night Kiddush, if a person's hearing somebody else make Kiddush, but they don't understand what the words mean, how are they Yotzei Kiddush Shomea Ka'ona? So it's brought down, that might be the origin of the minhag. Some have that the guests who are Yotzei Kiddush sing along with the Mekadesh, the person making the Kiddush, they sing parts of it, which might be the hardest words that they're least likely to understand. So by filling in that gap and saying it, then you can, the rest of it, be Yotzei Shomea Ka'ona. So Shomea, Shema, doesn't just mean to audibly hear, it means to understand, it means to comprehend. Which means what we're asking Hashem is not just to hear, not that Hashem is infinite, omnipotent, He never listens with half an ear. But don't just listen with half an ear and either give or don't give. Shema, understand, comprehend, listen. We're coming to you, we've got challenges, troubles, things we need help with. We have a mission we want to fulfill, we have gratitude we want to express. We want to express a protest against something that Hashem is doing. So Shema, don't just with half an ear and either answer or not, but Shema, comprehend, understand, pay attention. We want to feel heard. This is a very big thing in today's world. People, to be healthy, they want to feel heard, they want to feel heard. Young people in particular, teenagers in particular, I don't know that when we were growing up we ever felt entitled to feel heard. I don't think that was on our radar, that we felt entitled or deserving or I need to feel heard. Just go to school, get good grades, do your chores. But today, everybody needs to feel heard. I'm not minimizing it or making fun of it. It's a reality. You read this Adoros. Today, everybody needs to feel heard. So we also, Shema Koleinu, Anshe Knesset Gadol understood that we also need to feel heard. We want to feel heard. So Hashem, hear us. Shema Koleinu, 4 times, 5 times. Make me feel heard. Whether you'll answer favorably, positively or not, but help me and make me feel heard. This actually works very well with a continuation of the bracha and an explanation of it. We continue, Umilfanecha malkeinu rekam al teshivenu. Milfanecha. What does the word milfanecha mean? From in front of you, don't return me empty-handed. Where else would we be returning from empty-handed? Milfanecha. To quote the great Uncle Moshe, Hashem is here, Hashem is there, Hashem is everywhere. Everywhere is milfanecha. So what do we mean? Why are we invoking that word? We could simply say, Malkeinu rekam al teshivenu, our King, don't send us back empty-handed. What did we add by invoking the word? By invoking the word milfanecha. From in front of you, don't send me back empty-handed. So some bring down, Rav Schwab quotes this in his Sefer on prayer, on Tefillah. Rav Schwab says that person walks away from a conversation with Hashem, even if Hashem was not ready to say yes to whatever we asked, but if we yield a sense of closeness, of intimacy, if we feel we were heard, that in itself is elevating, it's empowering, it's comforting, it's strengthening. You see this with Chana. After Chana cries her heart out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, begging for a son, when she finishes, Pasuk says, Ufana lo yahayu la od. Her face was no longer sad. Shmuel Aleph, Perek Aleph, Pasuk Yirches. She was no longer sad. Whether she'd be heard or not, whether she would be listened to or responded to favorably, I should say, or not, she felt heard. And if you feel heard by a friend or family member, it feels good. If you feel heard by a boss or an authority, feels even better. If you feel heard by the Ribono Shalom himself, it's an incredible feeling. So we say, Umilfanecha, Kadosh Baruch Hu, Milfanecha Malkeinu Rekam Al Teshivenu. Let us not leave at least feeling heard. We want to minimally feel heard. Whether you'll in fact deliver on what we asked, whether you'll answer favorably, that you'll decide. But let us at least feel heard. So maybe that word, Shomea, is not just to hear, to be understood. Let us feel understood. Milfanecha, from in front of you, Malkeinu Rekam Al Teshivenu. Let us not leave without at least feeling that we were understood, that we were loved, that we had an address through which to address all of our needs, all of our concerns. We'll pick up next time.